What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. In today's video, as you can see here, we're going to be talking about another exotic glaive that dropped within Lightfall here, talking about the Winterbite Stasis Heavy Glaive here. Now, that is a little different than what we've had before, so this thing definitely changes the game, pairs up with Stasis very, very well, especially with that Titan and Syntheseps. So we're going to be going over how to grab this bad boy and then going over its perks as well. To start out, this quest is going to take you a few days to complete because it revolves around the new activity, that public event terminal overload that is happening on Neomuna. Now, once you complete the campaign completely for Lightfall and open up the Hall of Heroes and that Archivist in the back with the different areas of the memorials, you can go to this little computer and you will have 4 different quests to complete before unlocking the glaive. The first 3 are normal legendary quests that can be completed back to back. They're just restoring some of the old memorials that have broken down. These quests involve doing stuff around Neomuna, doing public events, going through lost sectors, as well as the partition event. So these are called Stargazer, Maelstrom, and Blue Jay. Like I said, they can be completed back to back to back. You just got to keep going in and out to the Archivist here at the back of the Hall of the Heroes. Now, once you complete that Blue Jay quest, you end up being able to claim the Strider exotic quest from the Archivist here in the Hall of Heroes. This quest is 7 steps, and at the end, we get our Winterbite. So the first step of this quest is actually just talking to the Archivist and collecting it. It'll basically explain a little about the weapon and what is happening inside of the quest. Step 2 is we have to complete the terminal overload in all 3 areas before moving on. So you have to collect that chest inside of Zypher's Concourse, Aizma Park, as well as Limming Harbor. So we have to wait 3 different days because it rotates every day at reset. So that's why this quest takes a few days to actually complete. But once you do all of those terminal overloads, 1 in each of the new areas on Neomuna, that 3rd chest will grant you an update to the quest where you have to defeat Shadow Legion forces on Neomuna, and they will drop location data. So you just defeat those Cabal around the area, and once you get 20, you're good to go in that part. With the second step of part 3 here is to complete the Aizma Park Lost Sector. At the end of that, once you collect the chest, you get a data cipher, which again updates our quest to progress to step 4. So nothing too crazy besides defeating enemies basically inside a Neomuna and that Lost Sector for step 3. Step 4, we head on back to the Hall of Heroes and talk to the Archivist, where she actually has us update and fix the memorial there for Strider. So we go as step 5, walk up and interact with that statue, that memorial, and it'll fix itself because of our new powers and with what we're doing in this data and data ciphers. Now, after we repair that memorial, we head on over to Lemming's Harbor and Maya's Retreat, where we actually have to stop the Vex forces in a little free-for-all on the bridge here, where there will be different Vex confluxes in the area. Once we defeat a certain enemy, they'll drop a little cipher key for us so we can disable those confluxes and move on to the final area and battle this giant Hydra right here. That is a yellow bar. Nothing too crazy being at 1800 going into it, so it might be a little bit more difficult being lower level, but Neomuna is pretty good at leveling out your levels with that nice, just everyone having a negative power on Neomuna, kind of like the Dialect Leviathan was a few seasons back. Now, once you defeat that Hydra, head on back to the Hall of Heroes and talk to the Archivist, where they will give you the Winterbite Glaive, which is an exotic stasis heavy weapon. Very interesting, like I stated before. Now, going over the perks that we have on this right here. First off, off, we have our Weighted Edge, its exotic perk. This weapon's melee attack increases damage and slows targets when loaded with ammo. So as long as you have ammo inside of the magazine, doing its melee attack will grant increased damage as well as slowing, which is good for those overload champions. Now we have its intrinsic trait as well, called Big Frigid Glaive. This fires a large ball of energy that locks onto nearby targets and freezes them. This does some damage as well, so you can also use this to stun unstoppable champions, and it does a decent amount of damage. Now Bungie is doing a little fixes and tweaks with this as it goes, because it was dealing a little extra, so it is getting a little change, but it is still dealing a good amount of damage even after it gets changed. So hopefully this helps you guys out get this exotic glaive, our first exotic glaive in the heavy slot. Very, very good in my opinion, like I said, with stasis build, especially now with the ability to have mods being so easy to proc each other, and with the Stasis Titan creating those nice diamond lances, as well as Synthoceps giving this thing extra damage in that melee, as well as its exotic perk right here. Kind of a gnarly little stasis synergy for y'all. So again, thank y'all for the support. Truly appreciate it. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.